And my number 5 is going to be Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Now, this movie is really interesting. I remember going to the theater with my mom when I was young when this came out and seeing it, and it was such a fantastic movie. And it's just like Treasure Planet, it's a very underrated Disney movie too, as well. It has a nice story where this like they're trying to find the lost city of Atlantis, which is this big legend that's been talked about ages. Like it's been done in other forms of media too. And it's like Milo Thatcher, who's voiced by Michael J. Fox. And how can you go wrong with Michael J. Fox? He makes that character work so much, just like he worked like in other characters, like Back to the Future and whatnot. And then you have like this princess. Sorry, I can't remember her name. Tita. Sorry, I had to write it down because I can't remember the name. And him working with this army, these soldiers, these explorers to go find this world, and then he finds it, and it's like, what do you do with this world? And there's people out there that want to take it for treasure and the profit, and people just want to explore it, and it's just this awesome adventure, just going down there, surviving the Leviathan, and just a big action-oriented movie that has really nice comedy. Some of the characters are really quite funny in this movie, and this nice animation, nice art, because it's just like I said with Treasure Planet. The space looks nice, like all the scenery underwater, all the scenery of Atlantis looks really nice in this movie too. So that's it for my number 5. And like I said, it deserves more. And just like Treasure Planet, Square Enix, put this in Kingdom Hearts, please. Number 4 is going to go to Beauty and the Beast. Just like Little Mermaid, it's another Disney classic based on their adaptation of a book from long time ago, a classic book from there that's been adapted many times before, and it's been adapted since. Disney is in fact making a live action movie with Emma Watson. So there you go, and it's just like Belle, this beast, this prince who at a young age was turned into a beast because he pushed away like an old begging woman and was cursed for it. His entire castle was cursed for it, and Belle comes across it, and he's like the villagers, like the castle is like, to stay away from it, and the fact that he's a beast, everyone's scared of him, and then she finds that deep down inside he really is a nice person, and they get along, and there's Gaston, which is an awesome villain, just like Ursula, one of Disney's best, and nice music as well, which I should basically say that with every Disney movie, regardless of its original music or they use licensed music, they always seem to put good music in there. Whether they get good licensed music or they put their own music in there. Disney makes really good music, just like they make really good animation and art. Classic. Just like Little Mermaid, watch it, and I'm sure you have already. Number 3. See, we're rolling along here, people. This list I can do really fast. And like I said, though, some lists might be a little more in detail, some lists might be longer or 2 parts. I'm just trying to make this as fast as possible, because really, I could easily talk about Disney like all day. So there you go. Mulan is my number 3, because Mulan, I absolutely loved Mulan. The reason why it's my number 3, in fact. With the whole Chinese legend of this one girl who joins the Chinese army to fight off the Huns and save China. Whether or not it's based off a true story or not, we still really technically don't know. Although I'm assuming Mulan might be based off someone. That's the reason why they would have made a legend of it. And it's just so awesome seeing her, going from this Chinese girl that wants to protect her father and join the army, and the army's really nice. Super, all the side characters in the army are cool. The general is cool. The villain is okay. I'd say it's not one of Disney's best, but I still enjoyed it more than, say, someone like the Nostalgia Critic did, who didn't really like him as much. But he's not one of Disney's best, obviously. That's someone like Ursula or, Clayton or Ball, like I said with Gaston or something like that. But the guy, the leader of the Huns is actually semi-decent. He's semi-threatening, and it kind of makes him cool. And the music is awesome. You have Eddie Murphy as Mushu, which is awesome, and so on and so forth. The animation, just seeing this Chinese art, it's kind of like some parts of it are actually kind of like old Chinese art, kind of brought to life. And I did love it. This was one of my favorites growing up, which is the reason why it's my number 3. That's my number 3. Let's go to number 2. The Lion King. Oh, The Lion King is such a classic. Just like I talked about with Atlantis and the Lost Empire, this is another movie. Well, some of the Disney movies I have seen in theaters, but this is another Disney movie that's nostalgic for me, especially going to see it in the theaters. And not just the theaters, but the drive-in theaters. I remember going with my cousin, my mom, my uncle, and all this stuff. We just got in there and we watched it when I was like 4. I don't know. I was young, and it left a place in my heart because this is one of my favorite movies. Just seeing Simba grow up, and fight Scar and Hakuna Matata and Can You Feel the Love Tonight and all this music and the art, and it's one of the first movies from Disney I think that really is full on animal based too. Like usually a lot of the older ones either had humans or anthro type characters or stuff like that. Well, and like the characters, a lot of them are memorable. Like some of them are maybe not as memorable as others, but it is a classic during like Disney Renaissance. A nice story based off it's basically Animal Hamlet, and nice music and art to see like Africa and all that stuff. It's a classic. That's all I can say. It's just like Little Mermaid. It's just like Beauty and the Beast. These are classics, and they're such enjoyable movies still to this day. Now before we get to number 1, just like all my top 10 lists prior to this, I have a couple honorable mentions I want to talk about quickly that I want to present to all of you that are some of my other favorite Disney 2D animated movies. They didn't make the list. They were this short from getting on the list, but they are also my favorite Disney animated movies as well, and some of them were actually closer than others to actually make it on the list because a lot of Disney movies are enjoyable and they're some I could have easily switched out or whatever. So let's get that started. Hercules, the classic adventure of old Greek gods, mythology. Hades made the movie especially, and is basically adventurous, and you get stuff like Hercules looking like this. Princess and the Frog, because it brought the 2D animated Disney movies back. Classic story, a lot of Disney movies are adapted from something. Princess and the Frog. It was a nice movie, had nice music and nice scenery. The villain was one of Disney's best in recent memory and of all time too, Dr. Facilier. And it just brought 2D animated Disney movies back, and I was so happy for that, and I really wish they would do it a little bit more. Pinocchio, which is another classic, and it's a nice adventure movie, kind of coming-of-age story of Pinocchio becoming human, and all that stuff on Pleasure Island, and Monstro, and all this other stuff, and it's such a random, crazy adventure that it can go from being super happy to kind of creepy at times, and you guys know what I'm talking about there. Alice in Wonderland, another Disney classic, and it's just another adventure story based off a book, and it's been adapted many times before, and Disney's version, not the recent one, but this one, is a classic. And another coming-of-age, adventurous story of Alice through Wonderland, which I'm hoping you guys have seen by now. Peter Pan, I like it. It's not one of my favorite Disney movies. It is, like I said, another adventure movie of Wendy and her brothers going in with Peter Pan, like Captain Hook, which is the best part of the movie. And see, it's coming along with all these villains we're talking about making movies because he's so comedic and awesome. Tinkerbell before she became Tinkerbell today, and Peter Pan, who was a cool character in his own right. Robin Hood, classic adventure, animal version of Robin Hood, classic story, King John, whatever, and take money from the rich and give it to the poor. Deserves your attention. I don't think this movie gets as much attention as it really does deserve. It is a classic. And Fantasia, because it is one of the most beautiful Disney animated movies I have ever seen. They have a lot of good music in there to go along with the animation, and it was just freaking awesome. That's it for my honorable mentions. Now we are on to my number 1 favorite 2D Disney animated movie, and my number 1 is, drum roll please, Aladdin. I don't know. I just love it so much. From Robin Williams as the genie and Jafar as the villain, another classic. And you're seeing that trend down here. All the villains make all the movies. And the Aladdin and Jasmine and Abu, flying carpet, the atmosphere, and all of it. It is my favorite 2D Disney animated movie. And there's not much more to say. I loved the movie. I loved the Super Nintendo game back in the day. I recently, within the last year or so, got the Genesis version. Finally, I can play that. All the voice acting is great. All the music is fantastic. And it is another classic, which is standard for this list. That's it for my top 10 favorite 2D animated Disney movies. I hope you guys like this list. Put in the comment section what you guys think. What are some of your favorite 2D Disney animated movies? Let's discuss it down there, have some fun. I hope you guys like this video. I hope it's a lot faster than the previous ones. And I will work on that for my future top 10 lists and future videos in general. And I'll see you all later in my next video. Have a nice day, peace. Please subscribe if you want to. And all of you, have a nice day, like I basically said before. And see you all later. Well, I'm hoping that these lights flashing in my eyes not blind me. Bye.